All right, hello again, everybody. Today I'm going to be going over your second primary assignment with you. This is the artist analysis assignment, and it's broken up into a few different parts here. You'll see getting to know the artist is 50% of your grade, the SWOT analysis is 25%, and your action items are 25%. So let's take a look at what that means exactly. In getting to know the artist, you're going to see two sections here. I've got a list of 6 talents and then a list of 6 elements of experience. I want you to pick 3 of each. So you're going to pick a total of 3 talents, and you're going to write a paragraph about each of the talents that you think is relevant, and how it's relevant to your artist. All right, so I give you singing and rapping, songwriting, live performance and stage presence. I kind of break down what the differences there are. Live performance is like, what exactly does their live performance look like? Do they, is it them singing at a microphone? Is it them performing with the band? Are they playing, one instrument or multiple instruments, hopping from instrument to instrument? Is it choreographed dance? Does it rely heavily on a light show or what? Tell me what that performance looks like. Stage presence is more how they carry themselves. What is their performance style? Do they command the audience's attention, and how so? Are they animated and really work in the crowd like in a way that is all over the place, or are they more kind of in their own head and like moody and almost like not even aware of the audience? I've seen performances of Kurt Cobain where he's full of energy, but you never see his eyes. His hair is draped over his face, and it's like the audience could be there or they could not be there, and he'd still be in this zone. Maybe it was the heroin, but but maybe not. There was certainly something otherworldly coming through that guy. So describe what their performance is like. Number 5 is, do they play any, like what instruments do they play, and talk about their proficiency in that. And then number 6 is choreography. What I really want you to be focused on, so again, you're going to pick 3 of those and write a paragraph about each. So this section right here is going to have a total of 3 paragraphs that you've written here, and a paragraph is 4 sentences. So it's not so much that I'm counting numbers, it's more that I want to see that you are going more in depth than a casual fan here. I want to see that you're looking at this a little bit more deeply, maybe than you have in the past, and that you're focusing on clearly conveying information about your artist, and really, like, I try to avoid buzzwords. Like, don't. Here's the big thing, and this is something that you'll that you can learn in this class through one of the discussion boards where you see an artist pitching to Def Jam. But one of the big things that's important is that it's much more beneficial for you to show instead of tell. Meaning, if your artist is truly unique, you will never have to say the word unique. You can just tell me what it is that they're doing, and I will go, oh, that's unique. You know what I mean? The mistake I see there is people fill these sections full of buzzwords. Oh, they've got a great singing voice, and they've got a unique style, and things like that. That means nothing to me. It's so vague. So if if your artist has a particularly great voice, quantify it somehow. They have tell me how many octaves their range is. Tell me that they won a singing competition somewhere. Um, give me a quote from a review that describes what it is that's interesting about their voice. Do something along those lines. Uh, for all these sections, that's really what I'm looking for. Go specific and go in depth. And then for this next section here, this is elements of experience. So I give you, it's the same deal. There's 6 of them listed here that you can pick from. I want you to pick 3 of them that you feel are relevant to your artist, and give me a paragraph about each of those. So do they record themselves, or have they been in a professional recording studio? What was their experience like there? Do they tour, and if so, do they book themselves? You can kind of piggyback off that if they've booked their own shows, but where have they toured? What kinds of shows they play? What kind of rooms are they playing in? How many people are coming out? Stuff like that. Do they write their own songs? Have they ever co-written with anyone? Have they ever featured for anyone? That can be an invaluable way to network, and to really just kind of build your skills, develop your skills, and push yourself into different um, abilities. Sometimes, if you're an artist. Merchandise. Do they have merchandise already? Who designed it? Like what do they have to offer? That's out there. Is there any interesting merchandise, or is it just a standard T-shirt and CD? Like what are we working with exactly here? Um, and if they only have T-shirts and CDs, that's fine. But tell me what they've got and who made it, what company it was made through, that kind of stuff. If they're lucky enough to have sponsorships, whether it's gear or anything else, sponsorships can be really helpful for an artist's revenue stream. So um, sponsorships, and then publicity. Publicity is just, do they have any write-ups? Have they done any cool interviews? Has anyone reviewed their album or songs or anything like that? Like any publicity that you can dig up here, talk about that some. So here you're just trying to do the same thing. Go a little bit more in depth than maybe you would as a casual fan. Try to organize this a little bit and get it into something that you could start pulling information from to put together like an EPK or build a website for your artist or whatever it might be that you need to do. And then you're going to do a SWOT analysis for your artist, which is, I'm sure you've probably done these in other classes, but it really is crucial for an artist, because it's going to give you a lot of your starting points as a manager to kind of step back and say, okay, these are the strengths that I'm going to highlight and focus on. And in your last assignment, you worked on your target audience. So how can I take these strengths that I have and use them in creative ways to engage that target audience? How can I get in front of them now? And then for weaknesses, don't be afraid to identify a weakness in your artist. I don't care if it's yourself. You need to be able to be objective, step back, and say, okay, my artist, they come out great recorded. Their album, when they're recorded, their voice sounds fantastic and in full. But when they perform live, it's not going so well. Like their voice is cracking, or they can't hit some of the same notes that they're hitting on the record. If that's the case, then you better identify that, because your job as a manager is to fix it. You want to take any potential weakness here. The point is not to call out a weakness and belittle your artist because of it. The point is for you to identify that weakness and work on turning it into a strength. You want your artist firing on all cylinders from every angle possible. You can't do that if you aren't honest with yourself and say, hey, we need to work on this from time to time. Um, for opportunities, I really want you to take a step back and look at the industry and be as specific as possible. Don't tell me that your artist has the opportunity to tour or to play festivals or to get a song placed in movies or whatever. Every artist has those opportunities. Get specific. What I mean by that is, tell me, my artist is the kind of artist that would fit in well on Warped Tour, and Warped Tour has a competition that's sponsored by Ernie Ball, where the winner of the competition is basically a battle of the bands, and the winner gets to play a stop on Warped Tour. So that's a specific opportunity. It's not, hey, my artist could tour. It's, my artist could play a show at Warped Tour, and this is why it makes sense. Or don't tell me they can play festivals. Name the specific festivals that you think are realistic for them to get into at this point in their career. And same with song placement. Don't say it would be cool if my artist had a song placed in a movie or a TV show. Say I found that there are 3 other artists that are at a similar level as my artist, that are similar in sound and style, and they are with this particular publishing company or this particular licensing company. And I think that would be a good opportunity for us, is to reach out to someone from there and see if we can get one of those deals. Same with threats. If nothing else, you've got the threat of competition, and there's tons of it out there. So identify some specific threats there. But really, that's what I'm looking for. You're going to write a full paragraph for each of these 4 things. So there's going to be a paragraph about strengths, paragraph about weaknesses, like all that. You don't have to limit yourself to a paragraph either if you feel like you need to go a little bit more in depth. But I'm looking for a minimum of a paragraph there. All right, now for your strengths and for your weaknesses, well, for all these categories, you're asked to provide a minimum of 2 specific examples of each category, and then give those specific details I just talked about. Now, the reason for that is when you get down to this action item sections, you're going to be dealing with your strengths and weaknesses from above here. So I give you an article that tells you different ways that artists can make revenue as an independent artist. So before you ever get a record deal, which by the way, record deals are largely recoupable, so you can't always necessarily bank on that as being a source of income. But how can you actually make money as a musician? You know, your goal for your artist is to put them in a situation where they can focus on their art, and they don't have to work, 3 jobs in order to make ends meet, because you're bringing in revenue streams for them, utilizing their art and utilizing their image in a way that they're happy with and content with, so they can focus on their creative capabilities. So this is a brainstorming section. So you're going to take each of the 2 strengths that you identified up above here, and for your first strength, you're going to give me 3 potential ideas for revenue sources that utilize that strength. So if your artist has a particularly good voice, and that's the strength that you identified, then a potential revenue source is that maybe you could get hired as a backup singer for an established band in your hometown. There you go. That's a free one for you there. So I want to see that you're thinking of ways that you could possibly be making money using the strengths that you've identified. And then for the weaknesses that you've identified up in your SWOT analysis, list your first weakness and then tell me a potential way that you can fix that. My artist sings well recorded, but they do not sing well live. So, a potential solution for that problem could be to book them more live shows and start getting them more comfortable on stage, or have set up a rehearsal room with a microphone and with an in-ear monitor so that they can really, or just a high quality monitor out in front of them so they can start hearing how they sound, live, and then tape those sessions and play it back to your artist. It's going to make them cringe. It's going to make them wince. It's going to make them hate themselves, but they will be better for it. They'll be able to fix what they think that they're doing wrong. So you'll find that they'll be a lot better off for it. So start thinking of potential solutions for that. So that's assignment 2. And if you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out to me at any time. And I look forward to your work.